What's up, everyone? Today we have this Stihl BR800X. It is having a problem. Now, when the owner gave it to me, he said that it was really hard to pull. I instantly knew what it was. Let me tell you how I figured it out. Took the little cover off, real simple. Took the plug out, spun it over. Now, it's going to be hard for you to hear, but more or less, I hear the fan running a little bit longer. Now, if I put it on the floor and really pulled on it, you would hear a lot more. At least I would. Maybe not you. Microphones are a little weird that way. However, what we have here is probably the most standard thing ever. And I really hope it didn't ruin the crank. And I'll show you when we get there. But we need to remove the fan and put a new one on. This happens so often. I carry fans because of this reason. I carry at least one. I'm going to use that one, and later tonight I'm going to order a new one because I will be doing this again. So first things first, I need to take off, I need to take the base off. Then the base is going to allow us to kind of crack the back off. So the base is going to have a couple bolts on the bottom, 2 or 3 bolts on the side, and then we should be able to access it. Like I said, it's a couple bolts. Oh, here we go. Now this tube can get real aggravating real fast. I would generally take it off. In fact, I might just do that now. You do need to remove the handle though. The handle's real simple. Not with that bit, we're not. Stihl has this uncanny ability to thoroughly irritate the people working on them by using every single size of screw available. That way, you have to have a minimum of 4 impacts around or something. Or do what I do, just keep changing them. But yeah, they have this ability to just irritate anyone working on them. Oh wow, and even the screw is being temperamental today. Oh my gosh. Who would have guessed? There we go. Got at least one of them out. I know you can't see anything, but just me struggling trying to get the screws out. There we go. So at least the handle's off. Now, we can take the tube out fairly easily. Probably a different size. I know it's a different size. We're going to be taking out a lot of screws. They're not that difficult to remember where to put them down. But this one does have a nut. So you have to remind yourself about that. Okay. I'm just going to put the nut on the bolt, actually. Next. Well, we might need to take off a couple more. At least loosen them to kind of crack it up. We're going to be doing this anyway. Come on. There we go. Perfect. Now we don't have to worry about that. Now we have access to these. That's the tank. Do we need to do that? No, we don't. No, we don't. Well, to be honest, I don't remember. I feel like we do. In fact, pretty sure we do. May as well. Where's the other one? Okay. Luckily, those are all the same. I could have swore there was another one for the tank, but maybe I'm just losing it. Huh, okay. Well, I'm going to go put the dog inside because there's a lot of people coming. I don't want her to do anything crazy. Now we need to find the screws on here. Somewhere back here. There's one. Like I said, all these are exactly the same, the bigger ones. So some will go to the tank, some will go here. It doesn't really matter. There should be one more, at least. Yeah, here we go. Any luck. Yep. The base is now connected. Or disconnected. So we did have to remove the fuel tank, which isn't the end of the world. We're just going to put the fuel tank in its general location. Oh, wait, no, I need to do it the other way. Ow. That's some surprisingly sharp plastic. Look at that. I'm even bleeding. Anyway, so now we get the amazing joy of removing all of these screws. There is one behind the tank as well, or maybe two, probably two. Which is another reason why it's best to have the tank kind of dangle. You can remove the lines, but in my experience, as long as you're just careful, you don't have to worry about that. And you don't have to worry about potentially cracking a line. One last check. Make sure we have them all. Now, if any luck, this back piece should just come right off. Let's put the tank kind of back where it would like to sit anyway. Okay. Now for right, this should spin freely. And it does. So, that's kind of good. The kind of good is, that's exactly what we thought. Bad part is that the majority of the time this is probably broken. So, pretty sure we're not gonna get lucky. Sometimes you just take it off without having to. It's kind of rusty though. Let's put a little help on it. Here's my problem. This potentially is going to snap the crank. And this is what it kind of goes to the issue I was talking about earlier. There's two things that will end up happening. One, the bolt will just, actually three. One, the bolt will just loosen up and you just have to tighten it up. Now you don't, that usually is like never. It happened maybe twice in my entire time doing these. Or this actually starts to like fall apart and starts to lose a connection. And it just is a bad, I mean, it very well might be there's like a little metal ring inside of the plastic piece, and the plastic piece very well could just be spinning around its own metal ring. Or actually, I've seen it quite often where the crank literally just snaps. That's not good. A snapped crank isn't the end of the world usually. However, with this, it pretty much is. You can't buy a crank. You have to buy the whole assembly. Piston, crank, rings, cylinder, everything. And that whole assembly is not cheap. It's, last time I checked, like $400 something. So, let's see if we get lucky. Oh my god, we did. And it didn't snap. The owner might very well have to buy a lottery ticket today. Yeah. That's exactly what happened. The metal piece is damaged. I don't know if you could tell, but it's cracked. So it's no longer putting any compression on it. So it's just spinning freely. So it's exactly what I thought. We need to get a new one. Now the part number for this is 4283-700-3401. Like so. Now some people are gonna not like this part, but I'm just gonna put the old one on because it still works. This was at none of its own fault, or the fault of the nut. It didn't come off, so that's also a worry. Now you don't really want to put this on too tight, but you do want it tight. If it's on too tight, it's going to do the same thing. If it's on too loose, it's going to come off. Right there is about it. So now, when we spin this, it should move the crank. There's no piston in there, so it should be easy. And it does. I might put it on a little tighter, just because sometimes it will just come off. There we go. Now, we get the joy of putting it all back together again. Putting it together, though, isn't too bad, except for putting the back on. Putting the back, it's kind of difficult because you have these little absorbers everywhere, and they really make life not pleasant sometimes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend a little time. I'm going to put the sides on that you're seeing now, and I'll bring it back for the back. Nah, you can watch me do this too. So the reason why I brought you back is I want to discuss something about this. You should not have anyone do this if this machine is new. If this machine is new, you need to take it back to where you got it and tell them this happened. And some of them might give you a hard time, but still acknowledge this happened. Maybe not with the newer ones now, but as of last year, 2023, there was an active, well, I shouldn't say recall, the still equivalent of a recall, saying that basically if you do get one of these, just repair it for free. That might not ring true now, but back then, last year of course, I mean it's only March of 2024, so not too long ago, they would accept it and you can get a free fan out of the deal. The fans themselves are not super expensive, but they're definitely not cheap. I think they're roughly $60. At least the one that we're putting in is. It might have gone up since then. But that's the benefit of having parts around. I still sell it for the price that I would anyway. I'm not going to make someone pay more just because I kept it. Some people may or may not agree with that idea, but just how I personally run my garage. Now, this is going to be a lot easier if we pick this up. I didn't do all of them because we still have to do the my mind went blank, the tube. So those little dampers have to go in their own special little slot. There we go, I think we got them. And once you get one in, it usually kind of holds the rest of them in place. So let's go ahead and get one of those in. There we go. So, just have the tank left. So let's go ahead and do that. Tank has a little space right there, so it makes it a little easier. Now you don't want to be too hard on the tank, it is plastic. Perfect. Now we can work on the tube, which, don't worry, I know what you're thinking. It should be easy. It's not. I say that because, well, it's a Stihl. If it was easy, it wouldn't come from their factory. Well, that wasn't nearly as bad as I thought it would have been. Shouldn't say anything though. They might hear me. So this is a NGK CMR 6H. And just in case you're unaware, CMR 6H. So we do have a new one. The owner did tell me if I spotted anything that needed to be done to just go ahead and do it. Unless it was super expensive, then he asked if I could just please call him first. A plug is a couple bucks. So I don't suspect that is going to cause a significant worry for him. I know you should never do this, but it's already started, so it's okay. It's not like I'm cranking down on it. Now, we are on the home stretch. We just need to put this cover back on, which this cover did not really want to go on. Or wasn't on correctly when I got it, I should say. I hate these covers. They're truly not well designed. Of course, in my opinion, the whole thing isn't well designed. Watch that video. There we are. Now, I'm going to put everything away and we'll put it down on the ground and we'll give it a pull. Well, it's a moment of truth. Let's give it a couple primes. Let's make sure this is not on off. Oh, quarter throttle. Should be okay. Whenever you do this, always make sure. I think I see the other screw. Pull on it first. You don't want to pull on it immediately and hurt yourself. Now I know what you're thinking. It was shaking. That's not shaking. That's normal. That's completely normal, actually. Shaking literally would be like that on the ground. That's not good for it. This, however, is normal. That's why those dampeners are there, to kind of make it so you're not getting a horrendous back massage while using this. But it's good. Seems like it's good to go. Like I said, this is so common, I'm gonna have to buy another one. Take this part number yet again, it's 4283-700-3401A. Actually, that might be, I think it might be a little different than the one I put on. Just take the look back on the video for the other one. This might be the bad part number. But, yeah, it's definitely bad. Can't really repair this, unfortunately, because if you even were to weld it, you'd have to take it out and have welded it so precisely that it puts a good fit. Because the end of the shaft is the little taper, and this fits this taper perfect. So much so it holds it together. If you were off the slightest amount, it's not going to work. So, we are good to go. I'm going to go ahead and leave you at that. Follow me on Instagram at SmallEngine101. If you like what you see, keep watching, subscribe. Definitely leave a thumbs up. That helps me out a lot. Leave a thumbs up if it helped you out a lot, because hopefully it did. If you have any questions, definitely leave a comment. I'll see you in the next video. Have a good night.